Welcome back to the channel, I'm Wolf. In this video I'm doing a quick bike check. This is my only bike, which is a YT Jeffsy Pro 29 2020 model. The frame size is extra large and obviously it has 29-inch wheels that fit me perfectly. The reach I think of this frame is 490mm and the frame is full carbon, so full carbon front triangle and full carbon rear end as well. In terms of suspension, I've got 150mm of travel on the fork, which is a RockShox Pike, and on the rear I have a RockShox Super Deluxe Air Shock, which delivers 140mm of travel. Let's start with the cockpit of my bike. So I'm running an E13 Plus handlebar with a width of 780mm, and that's perfect for me, so I haven't needed to cut it down. I don't think I'll ever want to go wider, it's already wide enough. The stem is an E13 aluminium stem, which is 50mm in length, which again is perfect for me and I like that. And then grips are DMR Death Grips, which are the thick soft ones in red that makes the bike look good, and also they're my favourite grips, they're really comfortable. Onto the brakes. So originally this bike came with SRAM G2 RSCs, which are quite expensive brakes and are good, but I just felt the levers didn't feel very solid. I didn't really like the feel of them. On the bike I had before this, which was a Canyon Spectral, I upgraded to SRAM Guide REs, which are actually meant for e-bikes, but they're very powerful and simple and cheap. But one of my first upgrades on this was to upgrade to SRAM Guide RE brakes, and also at the same time I upgraded the rotors on this bike to 220mm on the front and a 200mm on the rear, which increases the leverage of the rotors. Loads of braking power I can get from the brakes. That makes the bike just feel great when you're braking. You have all the power you'd ever need. Moving down to the fork, which is a RockShox Pike 2020 model. The model is obviously the 29 version with 150mm of vertical travel. As it's January right now, so pretty much the middle of winter, it's not actually too muddy out. I'm running a Mucky Nuts mudguard, which is the extra long version. It's one of the longest mudguards you can get, so it's really long, keeps the spray off your face and off your body and off the bike as well, so it's a great mudguard, again quite cheap. The wheels I'm running are E13 TRS Plus, obviously the 29-inch model. These wheels are aluminium, they feel great, so I'm happy with those. And for tyres I'm running my favourites, which are Maxxis Minion DHR2s, front and rear, obviously 29-inch size, 2.4 inch width. I find that that's the optimum width really for me, because too thick and they don't really stick into dirt and mud. You don't really get much grip and they just feel like wallowy in turns. In terms of tyre pressure, I always run 24 psi in the front tyre and 26 psi in the rear. That just feels perfect for me. I've gone a bit harder, but they feel harsh and you don't really get as much grip. I do notice the tyre pressure quite a lot, even if I reduce it to just by 1 or 2 psi. The bike just feels different and unusual through the turns, I'd say. So it's not confident, whereas running 24 psi in the front, 26 in the rear, I run it everywhere. It doesn't matter where, I always run that. All conditions, it just feels perfect for me. So I've been experimenting with that quite a bit. Moving down here to the middle of the frame, I've got a YT Fidlock water bottle, which is nice but expensive. So it's magnetic, so it holds the water bottle in place. It's only failed me once, I think. Moving up to the saddle and seat post. So the saddle is just the stock one that came on it. It's a SDG YT collaboration one, I think. And then dropper post again is just YT stock one, which is a YT Postman. This one is 170mm in length. Again, I like the dropper post. It's 170mm of travel is good. It's enough to get it properly out of the way for the downhills. It's always been responsive. Looking to the drivetrain of this bike, which is a SRAM GX Ego 1x12, which is stock what came on the bike. This obviously gives me really good range, so 12 gears on the back, paired with a 32 tooth chainring, which I can pretty much climb anything and descend anything at speed. I hardly ever use the 50 tooth cog when I'm climbing. Don't really have a need for it, but it is useful sometimes. Obviously, as the bike came brand new without any pedals, I had to buy some, so I chose E13 composite pedals. These pedals are grippy, they have a good platform size, they're nice and large, big feet, so they're really good. All in, I think the bike weighs 14.4 kilos roughly. It's not too bad, but not the lightest. It's what you'd expect for quite a big bike. It's obviously it's extra large frame size, but full carbon. I'd argue this is probably the perfect bike for UK riding. It's got enough travel, so 150mm front, 140mm in the rear. It's enough travel for most riding. It's perfect when it's a bit flat and it's not too technical, but I've also ridden this uplift bike parks like Stiniog in North Wales. I rode down a double black and it coped with it pretty well. And a lot of people ride downhill bikes in places like that. This copes with those kind of trails well. That brings me to the end of my bike check video. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Leave any comments you have down below. If you'd like to see me ride this down Stiniog in North Wales, you can click up here. Thank you for watching.